This is the third act of this year's Crucible final in what's a best of 35 frames match. A possible 18 more frames remain today with 8 to play this afternoon, and we're going to share the first part of it in the company of two men who know what it's like to win one of snooker's 3 majors, in fact 3 between you, I believe. Dennis Taylor and John Virgo.
Yes, thank you, Hazel. And
thank you, ladies and gentlemen. 18th frame, Mark Selby to break.
This is now becoming to a real titanic struggle, you feel. The buzz around the hotel last night, everybody was saying who's favourite. A lot of people said Mark Selby was favourite. I found that hard to believe, Dennis, being 3 frames behind. The sponsors have said it's 8 to 11 John Higgins, even money Mark Selby, but these 4 frames could be the key.
An awful lot of frames have been played throughout this year's World Championship, and John Higgins is playing his 100th frame, believe it or not. 41-year-old looking for that 5th world title. At one stage it looked as if we might not have an evening session the way John was going, but the defending champion came right back, as he did against Ronnie O'Sullivan in 2014, so it's very difficult to predict a winner. If John Higgins can keep sharing the little mini sessions, he'll be crowned champion. Easier said than done.
So just having a look here at this situation, there is a tempter to the left corner, but with the black and pink being out of commission, an awful lot to do with the cue ball, so playing safe, but he's got to avoid that red near the left hand cushion. Caught it very thin. I'm not certainly play to hit it that thin and catching the yellow. It's no good safety. But once again, that red on the left hand side of the table, risky pot, and hard to see a reward for it.
Got a good length for the cue ball, and that red is covered. It's gone towards the corner pocket, as you can see there. Some brilliant tactical play between these two players. It really was. And I mean, the high breaks when they get a chance. John had that magnificent 141 and Mark 121, so they're even in the safety success department now. That's for the whole tournament. And for this match, well, they're so evenly matched. John just ahead in this match.
Yes, and maybe that's why Mark Selby's 3 frames behind when you look at those stats. I always think in the potting and the safety, you've got to be 90% or above. So this is what Mark's looking at. The problem is he's got that red near the corner and he's frightened to leave that. So can he nestle up to it? Can he get in behind it? Trying to get back to balk and not leave the red. Almost impossible. Played a thin one. Missed it on the way up, caught it on the way back, but has left this red on.
I'm just looking at it, John, as we show you the shot again. He needed a thin contact, but the red he's left over the pocket is almost straight, and the pink and black are tied up, and Mark will realise that as he sits down. Has he got a little bit of angle to get? He's got to get towards the blue. There is a gap back through those reds, and he's got a slight angle, but you've got the perfect picture there to see if he gets that gap for the blue. Now he's catching the other red.
1.
So it wasn't quite as bad as we first thought when Mark missed the red completely going up. It's a tricky little blue this with the rest, John.
Yeah, if it was straight, you wouldn't expect him to miss it. But as far as John's concerned, he can see the cue ball, the object ball, but he can't see the pocket, so he's got to pick out the angle and believe. We'll know whether it's in before he does. No. And it was made tough, as I say. If it was a straight blue,
Higgins 1.
there wouldn't have been a problem. So it just shows you, Dennis, as we see so many times, you make a bad mistake, and the next thing you know, you're back at the table, reds are open, and I think the pink is now available.
Well, that'll be key because the blue's gone safe, the black's out of commission, but you can clearly see the pink will just go there. So that's all he's got to work with at the moment. Green and brown, I suppose, if he gets the wrong side. In fact, he was the wrong side of the red, so
1.
had to play for the green.
To a stage in these type of situations where you don't know whether to take a risk. I mean, there was a possibility there of potting the red to the left corner, maybe trying to bring the black into play. It's whether it's worth the risk to try and open the frame and give you a chance to score heavily. But I'm certain that Mark Selby knows the importance of this first mini session, if you like, these 4 frames. If he can win 3 of the 4, he's only going to be 1 behind. He's thinking about it. He's thinking whether it's worth it. Pot the red and try and bring the black into play. I don't blame him. We thought the pink went before, Dennis, and I'm surprised you didn't play for it when he went up for the green, but it looks like it goes. Well, he's decided to go back up for a bought colour. The reason I say that, the thin potting angle, he couldn't hold for the pink.
Back in a similar position again, believe it or not. So it's not going to be easy to score many from this situation. Back up the table again, this time having to use the other red as a little cannon to get up there. Well, he could avoid the cannon, but
10.
he'd like to take that one again. Having said that, he slipped past the blue. It looked like he was going to land on the blue there. And there's the wonderful Crucible Theatre. And I love this shot as you zoom in and it shows you the length of the table. 12 foot by 6 foot.
Yeah, I know he was looking at the brown being so tight to the cushion. I thought, why isn't he going to play the snooker?
Mark Selby.
And that for me is the right shot. Top down. We're going to get close to the red. And John Higgins will do well to keep this safe. And particularly when you're coming off a cushion quickly, it's hard to judge sometimes.
Yeah, that's the one that he would love to play. Just land on the back of that. Can he pick the angle up with being so close? Doesn't want to slip around the back of it. Oh, has he left it? It won't cut back, it's far too thin. He's taking the pot on here, but it's a sort of a free shot. Tried to get on the yellow, but even that wasn't going to be easy had he potted the red. Just a little bit of an awkward frame here. Playing the safety shot, but he just looked at the plant, but highly unlikely that he would plant one red onto the other with that distance between them.
Yeah, but what he needed was a good cue ball, and he's not got that. A little bit pacey, that safety. And I think Mark will be able to get his hand on the table and the yellow not interfere with the bridge hand. Second out from the left is the 1. 3/4 ball pot. He does bridge long sometimes. Can he get his hand on the table? No, he's bridging long. Look how far that cue's away from his bridge hand. Oh, result. And that, Dennis, at the end of the day, sums up snooker really, doesn't it? You know, and this match could swing on a run of the ball here, a fluke, a plant that appears from nowhere.
Yes, you can't beat a bit of luck at any sport, but as we show you this attempt, once he missed it, he thought, I'm going to put John right in amongst them, and then all of a sudden he gets that, well, double kiss twice. Is that a double kiss? But amazing. But if you can get away with it, as you say, John, it can make all the difference. Usually evens itself out over 4 sessions.
The one thing that John was desperate to do there, that red on the right hand side of the table, cover it with the green. Otherwise he'd have left an easy safety shot for Mark, and the fact that Mark's not looking at that red tells me that he has covered it. And Mark, if he's playing back to the ball Ken, has the same problem. Little tap of the table. As I say, I mean, normally you'd be playing to get to the ball cushion, but if you did that, you'd have left the red, and there's no gap there.
Yeah, that's finished awkward. He can hit the red that's next to the blue, but not easy to send it up the table. Leave the white back in the safety area because he could cannon into the blue if he tried that. few frames like this yesterday, which were also fascinating to see who was going to make the first mistake. But it's an awkward table. The black's surrounded with 5 reds there. Well, that didn't look possible. He took the pot on. It didn't look possible to overcut that shot.
Yes, Dennis, and that's probably why he missed it, isn't it? It's one of those you'd be playing, thinking, if I can hit this as thin as I can, it must go in. To overcut it, as you say, is remarkable. Look, if Mark Selby, as we watch this overcut, if he can't get through it to it direct, he can play one onto the other here. And that's what he's playing, one red onto the other.
Switch that light off, please.
And, well, it looks like he's on the black, and if he's on the black, this opens up the frame completely.
What a bonus that is. It didn't look as if the black would go from the overhead shot. Well, is it tied up now?
Well, I think you'll be hoping it still goes. Well, it doesn't look as though it does. Because, amazingly enough, he didn't move many reds there, did he? No, it doesn't go now. And okay, he's got this easy red over the left corner, but he's hampered, and I don't think the pink goes into the right middle. So take the easier red. A bit more to do with the cue ball, though.
Nine.
Well, this table's playing beautifully because that didn't look as if it was going to get round the angles. The pace of the table. I know they were a bit concerned about the cushion behind the black not bouncing correctly, but it seems to be playing beautifully. And gradually turning into a decent chance.
13.
The pink's in the clear, a couple more loose reds. Like there's probably 4 potable reds. But he didn't hit that hard enough. That was a poor shot from Mark. He should have been straighter on the pink. Now he's got a bit of a problem.
Yes, he tried to let the side do the work, played with lots of right-hand side, but for whatever reason, as you say, Dennis, he's finished well short. And, okay, he can pot the pink, but he's taking the cue ball away from the reds, and surely it's too risky to play the pink in the middle. Just juggled its way in, but he was never going to be good on the next red. It's a good pot here to keep it going.
Well, there, it looked as if the pink wasn't going in. It wobbled 3 times. Have a look. 1, 2, 3, and in. Any harder, it would have missed.
Tremendous pot, but no position. When it's one of those, you really tough shot, and you put all your concentration, which you have to, into the pot, Great hit. Look at that when you play it with pace. This super slow-mo never ceases to amaze me because we never realise how much the balls bounce off the table, and particularly with these super fine cloths. Just have a look at this again.
Yeah, of course, when we were playing, John, there was no such thing as slow motion cameras.
Well, we had Terry Griffiths.
Settle down, please. Mark Selby, 21.
Much too thin. With a chance for Mark Selby. He's got a 30-point lead. So, needs this time to get good position on the pink.
One.
Doesn't want to be straight. There is a red. Now you see it. If you just look to the left of the black as we look at that shot, that is potable. And the one below the black is, can he get across to that side of the table off this pink? He's got an angle, but he's got to avoid the red near the left-hand cushion. So he couldn't. So he's played for the red just below the black. But he's going to be awkward queuing here. Just needs another 17 points from this situation to get to the snooker's required stage. There you go, hampered. Striking down. Wow, good shot.
I keep saying it, I've never seen anyone as good as Mark Selby when he's bridging over a ball. He's amazing because he not only gets the pot, he seems to generate enough pace to get the position. I mean, it's such a difficult shot striking down on the cue ball like that, but he is the best I've ever seen at it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. You pointed it out the other day, Dennis. I've never really thought about it, but yeah, excellent. But he looks to be a bit straight on this pink. So what is the a plant? Does he see a plant?
40.
Wow. Does he think he can make this into a plant? I can only assume that, because otherwise, why would you play this shot? Well, I think he's playing safe.
Mark Selby, 40.
It was too straight on the pink, couldn't do anything about it. And he knows the importance of this frame. When he came to the Crucible Theatre, he had one priority in his mind: win the first frame. And he's favourite to do that now.
Foul.
Ooh, he's hit the brown.
And a miss. Mark Selby, 4.
Well, good luck with replacing these.
No, I don't think he'll be having them put back. Well, I hope he's not going to have them put back, and so Janva has.
Ready?
He's having a glance at Mark, but thankfully he's playing it from here. That was the side he put on that. It just threw it into the brown.
Thanks.
He's kept this frame very, very tight, has Mark Selby. John Higgins hasn't had a pot to look at. And this is not a bad shot. Purposely played it with a bit of pace because of the situation of the brown and blue. And his favourite now to take 4 frames in a row. It really was a terrific display last evening to win the last 3. Well, there was one person in the crucible like that last shot, the lone clapper.
The red's running loose. He needs a good cue ball. Where's the cue ball going? In the pocket. Just covered a fraction too thick, the safety. And of course, ball in hand. Sister of a red to the middle. This red and the black will put him 60 points in front with just 59 remaining.
Yeah.
I've got to be careful there. He left the rest on the table, and Andrew Haas was looking at him stretching over the blue, because if you touch one of the balls with the cue or the rest, it's a foul shot.
Yes, and when you finish your shot with the rest, you have to give it the referee. You have to take it off the table, but that's the ball that means John Higgins needs a snooker, and highly unlikely he'll get back to the table now.
8.
Didn't really have much chance, and if there was any little run of the ball going in this frame, it certainly went the way of Mark Selby.
9.
One particular long shot that he missed and got the double kiss, which left it safe. But just the start the defending champion was looking for. He'll know in the back of his mind of the 8 frames that have got to be played in this session, he wants to win them at least 5-3.
16.
He wants to win this session. He's got the perfect start.
Sorry, Mark. 23.
Not quite.
23.
I don't think John Higgins will bother coming back to the table. He doesn't, he nods the concession, so